A lot of spring games in college football this weekend. Let's talk USC. One of the things that Oklahoma is going to have to come to terms with is that once Texas A&M went to the SEC now has its hands in Texas recruiting. Why does that matter for Oklahoma? Because the state of Oklahoma over the last 10 to 15 years has been a much less dynamic state for high school football stars. This year, Oklahoma doesn't have a single five-star recruit, 4 or 5 four-star recruits, then just a bunch of guys. It's almost the equivalent of Oregon. There's just not that much talent in Oklahoma, so you have to leave the state. Well, when Lincoln Riley took the USC job, it will shut the door on Oklahoma getting elite California kids. Their state no longer provides 10 to 12 elite high school players. The SEC is now poaching Texas. And Jimbo Fisher and Steve Sarkisian at the 2 biggest programs in the state of Texas are excellent recruiters. Translation. One of the things that's never been discussed, but I do believe it's true, is that Lincoln Riley looked up and thought, we're heading into the SEC. Georgia, Florida, Louisiana, Alabama are all states where you don't have to leave it and you can get 60 to 70% of your recruiting class. Maybe in Alabama's case, 30%. Is that Lincoln Riley looked at this and thought, listen, we're going to be the 5th best program in terms of personnel in the SEC. When he took the USC job, people were shocked at it. But why did Brian Kelly take the LSU job? Easier access to high-end players. Look at what USC has already done in 2023 recruiting and in the transfer portal. Lincoln Riley looked at the future. It's called seeing around corners. And he's seeing what a lot of people are. Oklahoma recruiting the next 5 years, it's going to get harder and harder to get California kids, Texas kids, and you're moving into a conference with wildly dynamic in-state recruiting. Georgia, Florida, Louisiana, Mississippi. And those SEC schools have been recruiting those states for 30 and 40 years minimum. USC is going to get good fast. What you're going to see at Oklahoma is going to be a very, very gradual erosion over the next 10 years. They're going to win 9, 10 games this year. They're not going to be a bad program. But Lincoln Riley saw what was happening. The SEC now is shutting the door to a lot of the best high school football players. And the SEC, by the way, their NIL programs will pay more than Oklahoma's. I saw a story Oklahoma's going to pay $40,000 per Sooner. $40,000. You understand a quarterback's going to go for $4 million? A top receiver defensive end is going to go for $1 million? Nobody wants to say it. Nobody wants to push back. Mark my words, 10 years from now, Oklahoma will not be the same program. Now, Lincoln Riley may not be at USC in 10 years. He'll be there in 3 or 4 or 5. But Lincoln saw the future. The best program west of Denver is a better place to be than the 5th best program in the SEC.